Hello students, good morning to all. In the last session we have started the 6.3, that is application hacking. In that the first point is messaging system. In messaging system we have seen different countermeasures. Then messaging system vulnerabilities, which are the different vulnerabilities related to the messaging system. Now in today's session we are going to continue with the email attack. Many people depend on the internet for many of their professional, social and personal activities, but there are also people who attempt to damage our internet connected computers, violate our privacy and render inoperable the internet services. Email is a universal service used by a number of people worldwide. As one of the most popular services, emails has become a major vulnerability to users and organizations. The following email attacks use the most common email security vulnerabilities. Some of these attacks require basic hacking methodologies, gathering public information, scanning and enumerating your system and attacking. Others can carried out by sending emails or capturing network traffic. Different emails attacks are email bomb, banner and so on. What I told you, that different email attacks are email bomb and banners. Now what is email bomb? Let's start. Email bombs can crash a server and provide unauthorized administrators access. They attack by creating DOS, denial of service conditions against your email software and even your network and internet connections by taking up so much bandwidth and requiring so much storage space. An email bomb is a form of internet abuse which is prepared through the sending of massive volumes of email to a specific email address, with the goal of overflowing the mailbox and overwhelming the mail server hosting the address, making it into some form of denial of service attack. An email bomb is also known as a letter bomb. Different email bomb attacks are as attachment overloading attack, connection attack, autoresponder attack. Now we will see each attack, different email bomb attacks. Here are the list of bomb attacks. Okay, email bomb attacks. In that we will see each in detail. First one is attachment overloading attack. In that an attacker can create an attachment overloading attack by sending hundreds or thousands of emails with very large attachments. Attachment overloading attacks may have a couple of different goals. The whole email server may be targeted for a complete interruption of service with these failures like storage overload and bandwidth blocking. Now what is storage overload? Multiple large messages can quickly fill the total storage capacity of an email server. If the messages are not automatically deleted by the server or manually deleted by individual user accounts, the server will be unable to receive new messages. This can create a serious denial of service problem for your email system, either crashing it or requiring you take your system offline to clean up the junk that has accumulated. Okay, for example, 100 MB file attachment sent 10 times to 80 users can take 80 GB of storage space. Okay, now bandwidth blocking, second one. That is, an attacker can crash your email service or bring it to a crawl by filling the incoming internet connection with junk. Now, what are the countermeasures of attachment overloading attack? That is, first one is limit the size of either emails or email attachments. Check for this option in email server configurations option, email content filtering and email clients. This is the best protection against attachment overloading. And second one is limit each user space on the server. This denies a large attachments from being written to disk. Limit messages sizes for inbound and even outbound messages if you want to prevent a user from launching this attack inside your network. Then now second one type of email bomb attack is connection attack. Now what is connection attack? A hacker can send a huge amount of emails simultaneously to addresses on your network. These connections attacks can cause the server to give up on servicing any inbound or outbound TCP requests. This can lead to a complete server lookup or a crash, often resulting in a condition where the attacker is allowed administrator or root access to the system. This attack is often carried out as a spam attack. Okay, now what are the countermeasures of connection attack? Many email servers allow you to limit the number of resources used for inbound connection. It can be impossible to completely stop an unlimited amount of inbound requests. However, you can minimize the impact of the attack. This setting limits the amount of server processor time, which can help prevent a denial of service attack. Even in large companies, there is no reason that thousands of inbound email deliveries should be necessary within a short time period. And the last one is autoresponder attack. What is that? This is an interesting attack to find two or more users on the same or different email systems that have autoresponder configured. Autoresponder is that annoying atomic email response you often get back from random users when you are subscribing to a mailing list. A message goes to the mailing list of subscribers, and then users have their email configured to automatically respond back, saying that they are out of the office or on vacation. An autoresponder attack is a pretty easy hack. This attack can create never-ending loop that bounces thousands of messages back and forth between users. Now, what are the countermeasures of this attack? Okay, the best countermeasure for the autoresponder attack is to make policy that no one sets up an autoresponder message. Prevent email attacks as far considering perimeter of your network. The more traffic or malicious behavior you keep off your email servers and clients are better. And the next type of email attacks are, first one is email bomb and second one is banner. Okay, now what is banners? Banners, it includes one of the first orders of business for the hackers when hacking an email server is performing a basic banner grab to see whether he can tell what email server software is running. This is one of the most critical tests to find out what the word knows about the SMTP POP3 and IMAP servers. Now the third point is gathering information, which includes when a basic telnet connection is made on port number 25 SMTP banner displayed on an email server. To do this at a command prompt, simply enter telnet IP or host name. From that we get the email software type and version of the server is running. This information can give hackers some ideas about possible attacks, especially if they search a vulnerability database for known vulnerabilities of the software version. If you have changed your default SMTP banner, don't think that no one can configure out of the version. Now, what are the countermeasures of banners? There is a not 100% secure way of displaying banner information. Following are some banner insecurity tips for SMTP POP3 and IMAP servers. Change your default banners to cover up the information. Make sure that you are always running the latest software patches. Harden your server as much as possible by using well-known best practices. And the last point of today's session is general best practices for minimizing email security risk. What it includes?